Structure you say
Yeah.
has been in existence. The information that you say has been gathered. Do you think it's been utilized? Because it appears we have a
they
problem of
really gathered the information? That is the question. If they have they been able to use the information?
Which is the second question.
Which is the second question. Now, these questions are the things that you pose to the intelligence service heads.
Okay, as we speak now, what would you say should be done?
The first and the most important thing is for the federal government to have a political will to get to the end of this issue.
What is this political will?
Now, the political will means the sincerity of purpose, the honesty of purpose to be able to do something to stop the killing of innocent people. Now, how do you do that? Identify, go into the groundwork of getting the information on the people who are behind this.
Even if it means shooting your own
Even
foot.
if it means shooting your own brother if he's involved.
Perhaps this group might not be phantom. Perhaps this is the genuine Boko Haram, and they're asking to negotiate on behalf of, with the federal government.
Yes.
Would you say that the federal government should proceed?
I would believe that the federal government must have a template on which you act. Governments generally throughout the world don't negotiate with terrorist groups. But yes, they do. They do covertly. They do behind closed doors. They don't do it overtly. Now, Boko Haram is putting the federal government on the spot by publicly saying that they want to negotiate with federal government. Have they identified themselves, those who want to negotiate with federal government? Have they been able to publicly say that I am a member of Boko Haram, I run this organization, and I am ready to sit with federal government to negotiate? Nobody has done that. So who is the federal government going to negotiate with?
They're naming negotiators on their behalf.
On their behalf. So the negotiators are the ones who are going to speak on behalf of Boko Haram. Does that sound intelligent to me? It doesn't. It would mean that Buhari is going to be associated with Boko Haram. And if you care to think about it, that could be the political end of Major General Buhari. Because if it fails on him. If he makes any statement that is complementary to Boko Haram, they nail him on the other side. So heads or tail, he loses.
Well, are we forgetting the fact that, I mean, as much as Nigerians all want a resolution, and a quick one at that, to this matter, are we forgetting that the security agencies which we talk about operate within the framework of the law?
Yes.
Because now that some senators have been mentioned, the matter is supposed to, well, it's in court, but now we see them back in the Senate, and some people are tweeting asking us, they were shocked to see that some of the senators are also contributing to the daily goings on in the Senate. So what about that perspective of the law? Is the law sufficient? Is the law doing enough about this matter?
Crime against state, excuse me, crime against the people of a state, even if it is by inference, the person first must go to court. That person must go to court and go and say that he's not guilty of what they are accusing him of. But when the man is walking free on the street, excuse me, what law are we talking about here?
In other words, the law is not sufficient. It's not doing enough.
They're not using the law, for God's sake.
What law is available?
The
When do
law
we get
is
this
that
anti-terrorism?
somebody has accused you that you are part of the problem that is causing us to kill people. You need to be invited for questioning, for God's sake.
Yeah, but for the Senator Ndume's case is in court.
Yes.
They've gone past this a certain stage where
Yes.
they start investigating, they've done all of those. But the matter went to court, and the court eventually...
The former governor is
he's,
still going about. He hasn't been taken to court, has he?
Yeah, so if he gets there,
Yes.
what's the difference? What would the difference be? Because before you know what's going on, he's out there working again and doing what he knows.
Well, he's out there, in quote, means what? Means that the law is not sufficient to hold him down.
No, we're looking at those who are supposed to be facing the law.
Yeah.
Because nobody is exonerating anyone who should be facing the law who is not facing the law.
Okay.
Those who are facing it now, the impression Nigerians get is that, what's going on? We thought that these people were supposed to be maybe behind somewhere, or judiciary should expedite action, but administration of justice, it's a big headache to a lot of
Well, that's a
people.
different matter entirely. The fact remains that the persons have been accused and they have been taken to court. they have legal rights of freedom because they're just accused. They're not guilty yet.
What about moral right?
Well, that's left for the public. It is for public to be able to morally judge them.
For an institution like the National Assembly, where one of their members has been accused of a sin, as you said, against the nation, should they, I mean, morally speaking, allow such a person back on the floor?
Well, I think the dictates of the society will be able to let the people in that institution take the proper approach to deal with a situation like that. Because everybody has a freedom of right, a freedom of association and all that. And you are not guilty until you've been proven guilty in court. Therefore, it will seem to be prejudging them if you label them as a guilty person, even if they're working within an establishment. But the reality still remains that the morality of such persons should dictate to the person to either step aside while this investigation is going on or not.
All right.
But they don't do that. Nobody resigns voluntarily out of office in Nigeria.
Except the deputy, no, okay, let me leave that. Dr. Tokunbo, I beg your pardon. Yes, Tokunbo Adedeji is a public affairs analyst, and we thank you very much indeed